Alright guys, thanks very much for coming on here and having a look at this tutorial. Basically just a little tutorial series that I'm going to do to show that I have a portfolio of Unreal Engine work. So in today's video what we're going to look at is creating health systems inside the Unreal Engine. So just getting straight into it, okay. Double click, open up Unreal Engine, and you'll see a list of your projects if you already have any. But we're going to open up a new project today just to show for anyone that's new to Unreal. You see games, film, television, etc. Obviously we're making a game. Click on game, click next, and it'll bring up the Unreal templates. The Unreal templates are actually pretty cool because there's a lot of content in there. If you want to make a first-person shooter, there's a first-person shooter template that's already set up, so you can go off that. There's a third-person template as well. Looks like this. Side scrollers, 2.5D side scrollers as well, and racing and etc. So just for today, what we're going to do is, I suppose we're already on third person, so we'll use that. We'll open up desktop console. Always start with the starter content. There's some great stuff in there. And maximum quality is great. My project tutorial. Just for now, I'm going to delete it anyway. Create the project. It'll open up. Should be pretty quick because I'm using a good PC in college, so shouldn't take too long. And there we go. Once that opens up, you can see it's a third-person template. If you press play, you've already got like a third-person setup, so you can run off that. Start that as your base. But we're not here for that today, so I'll hit escape. What we're here for is creating health systems within the game. Okay, so what we'll do is, in order to do that, you have to double click on blueprints to open them up. You go into your third person character. Okay, now if you did open up the first person template, it would be first person character. If you opened up a side scroller template, it would be side scroll character, etc. Alright, now in order to create a health system, what you have to do is you have to go along here to the left and you'll see variables. Press the plus sign to create a new variable, and then what we'll name this now is health of the player, so player health. Now notice how I write with capital letters and there's no spaces. So in Unreal, anytime you're adding a file or you're adding a variable or a function, anytime you have to name something, you have to type it this way. So every word has to have a capital letter at the beginning, and there's no spaces allowed in Unreal. What people normally do for spaces is they'll do an underscore, but I'm quite lazy, so that's the way I do it. Alright, now moving over to the right hand side here, you'll see that it's already set up as a boolean, and that's actually a true or false value, and we don't want that. What we actually want is we want to hit the arrow for the drop down menu and change the variable to a float, which is a round number. Now once you've done that, you then move over here to the left, you click compile, and then we move back over to the right, and a default value appears with player health. What we want to do is we want to set that to a maximum value of 1. Click compile, save, and there you have it. It's easy as that. You now have player health set up in Unreal. Now it's only set up in Unreal. Once we press play, you can see here there's nothing on the screen. Okay, so the health's actually not functional at the moment. Okay, so within games you'll have a user interface. Basically you'll see your health bar on screens and that, and it's very, very simple to do. We go back into the content browser, we right click, and at the bottom it says user interface. We scroll over to the right. Down at the bottom we click what says widget blueprint. Now I'm going to name this HUD for heads up display. Okay, double click on it, open it up. You're in your designer tab. Now over here you have on the left hand side you have a palette. Now on this palette there is many different things: buttons, images, progress bars, etc. Now we're keeping this very simple, very light today. We're just going to put a progress bar in for now. Just make that a little bit bigger, And notice how once we're selected on whatever object we bring over from the palette, there's what's called an anchor here in the left hand corner. Now if I leave that in the left hand corner, when I go to play the game, the progress bar will show over in the left hand corner. So in order to keep the progress bar in the middle top part of the screen, what we need to do is move the anchor into the top middle part of the screen, like so. And that's that in place now. What we also want to do is we want to give this a percentage. Now the maximum percentage over here on the right hand side under progress is 1. Okay, same as our float, the default value of the float is 1 as well. And as you notice, if we move the value, it's moving from left to right. You can change this from right to left, top to bottom, etc. I mean, you can play around with that yourself, okay? But for now, just keep it left to right. And if I don't really like that color, go scroll down a wee bit further, and you can see appearance, fill color and opacity. And you know, a lot of player bars are red, green, etc. I'll just use green for now, okay? You can, it's up to you. This is just to give you an idea, okay? Oh, that's brilliant, okay? That's all good. Click compile. Now, to give this health bar some functionality, what we need to do is we need to create what's called a binding so it actually works in the game, okay? So in order to do that, you go back up to the progress tab, just move over there and you'll see what says bind. Click bind and create a binding, okay? So what we want to do is we want to enter a little bit of script here just to give some instructions to the game so it knows what to do. Now what we'll do is we'll come off the get %0, and what we'll do is, because this is the third person template, we will cast to the third person character. Okay, now obviously, like I said, if this was the first person or the side scroller, the title would change, so always bear in mind there. Okay, we'll come off that and we'll get player character. Where is it? There it is. Lovely. And brilliant. All we have to do now is just come off the side scroller and get player health. And all we have to do now is set that up there, compile, and it now has functionality. Okay. The only thing is when we press play, the health bar still won't show up on the screen. We need to tell the engine to do that. So we go back into the third person character. We go to the event graph. What I'm going to do is, for now, is just type in event, begin play, scroll in here, yeah, and then we come off that, and it'll say create widget. And if you look in here, there's a class. So we just created the HUD, that's the class. Scroll down, enter in the HUD, and then we wanted to add it to viewport. So then it's then showing on the screen. Click compile, press save, always save. Normally what I do, because I run off a PC at home that isn't so good, I save every time I do something really. To save the whole game, click file, save all, that's all your progress. Now let's press play and hopefully this should show a green health bar. And there you have it, folks. Simple, very easy to do. A couple of minutes is all it takes, and there you have it. You now have player health. So thank you very much for joining this tutorial today, and there will be more coming with regards to like health pickups, damaging the player, etc. And hopefully you found this well. If you're happy enough with it, any comments, leave a comment in the comment section, and please like and share if you want to see more content. In a while.